Lukey got a really great show for everybody today, all about inner dialogue and shutting that down. And when you do, yes, you've got access more to your vestibular sense. And what's that? What is this, the vestibular sense? You see, it distinguishes whole brain functioning from any other work, really. It is the work of you understanding how you're using the vestibular sense. And as you're moving toward, which is vestibular, toward, and you're having things within, you're more associated in life, basically, using direction like this. But so what in a dialogue that you would have had could be cleared away, and you're focused to clear it away, and so otherwise you're becoming more calm, you see, and clarity comes to be. And so this is something that you can ever be more in receptivity about. And the way you have used your vestibular sense and directing things more inward, otherwise, where aversion was and outside and away from, where aversion was, which is the opposite in the use of the vestibular sense. So where uncertainty would have been, it becomes ever more deferred sort of difficulty, where someone would have just had hesitation installed instead. How bad is that? Should be learning a bit more about mirror-like wisdom. Got a really good show, great podcast. It's all about this. And so the greatest stress where the brain could have been, it would have been sort of because some activation was of a primal circuitry that compressed the body, where some threat response was being triggered through the brain, where that could all get cleared up, you see. So ambiguity otherwise would have magnified aversion where that was, and a focus on what you don't understand, or what is, can't be sort of comprehended, rather than focusing on what you can comprehend, yes? And stay with what you can, linking things to what you already have a memory about. So motivation, often that could be a bit misread, and polarized behavior mistaken for clarity, where you're getting clarity. And excellence really is modeled, so it's something that you could predict. And so the vestibular sense really gives us direction and calms you more where it's being used proper in communication, and what signal exists where you've got things such. Whereas we're in a dialogue wasn't emptied out, you've got a couple of things going on ever more, and someone cannot sometimes hold one train of thought where anything is. So anything that's really kind of not quite right, you should put it in the most negative terms you can, so that you can just be dropping what that is, says that this I is you, which is really you who has gone beyond your mind. So one really action could have achieved multiple aims, yes? And so keeping your frontal cortex online, that's good. Otherwise, aversion could have dissolved that, you see. And so stillness, transparency, and silence evermore, where chatter was, is really a tool which you have more in eye awareness, and it's ever more like things are coming more from perfect detachment, you see. So our podcast is really about this. It's about a state of awareness that you have beyond the state of sleep and dreaming and even wakefulness, because wakefulness is only 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information at any one period of time. So what's negative, typical, we're going to be talking a bit about it in the podcast, is really great. It's got a value of -3, let's say, and anything positive really has only got a value of +1. Okay. So living in the gap where awareness is, yes, and that's what our podcast's about, and the junction where this is between the beats, this is where you're perceptive and you've got your open receptivity, and it's a kinesthetic auditory sort of visual in the way you process information more, and memory feed, and where emotion is, you have a seal more, and the body becomes ever more empty and relaxed and in flow versus braced. So rapport is otherwise, and you've got this currency of transformation and this vestibular sense of moving toward having things within, sorting more for agreement. and you can only do this from an empty centre. So this is the subject, really, yes? And it's really what the issue is, where things are, and how do you ever become more quiet inside so the chatter has dropped away, and eye awareness really is standing where this sort of unbounded, shoreless position is, and space and room is left inside. You're going to love this podcast. It's all about this subject. Love you guys, and let's catch up to you in the podcast.